Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing a family portrait video. Strange. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with a family portrait video. I haven't done one of these for a while. So, I did a family portrait of my Serge Lutens back in the day, and I think I've done a tower one as well. But the general premise is that I show you all the bottles, all the fragrances I've got from a particular house. And today we are doing Tom Ford, the house of Tom Ford. Now, I did have more, but I've sold them. I've sold a few off, but these are the remaining 10. Frightening that I've sold some off and yet I've still got 10. But that's kind of where I'm at with these. And not to worry, I'm pretty happy with the ones I've got, actually. There's nothing here that I'm thinking to myself, I should probably get rid of that. No. Tom Ford is one of, if not the best designer of the century so far. It's a debate that can be had, you know? Is Tom Ford the best designer of this century? Designer house, perfume-wise. He's right up there. He's right up there with people want to talk about Chanel. He's up there with Dior, YSL, of which he was the creative director for a while. That's something I thought about doing in this video as well, showing the perfumes that he'd done for YSL and Gucci. But I decided against it. I couldn't be chewed, to be perfectly honest, because I'd sold a couple of them as well. Sold Envy. Just wasn't a huge fan, to be honest, but there'll be more to come. One day I'll do a Dior one, and that'll take a while because I've got quite a few of those. So that'll be one to look forward to. I think I've done a Mugler one of these as well. That might have been before I sold them all off. I've sold like 6 or 7 of those off because I don't know. I don't think they aged very well, to be honest with you. But not to worry. These are my 10 Tom Ford. They're not in any order. I might rank them one day. Which I might do in the spring or nearer the spring. But until then, you will have to cope. You will have to cope and cope hard with me just presenting these to you as they are. And I will pick one at random, and we will start with the only one that I don't have a legitimate bottle of. And this is, you'll just have to trust us, Patchouli Absolute. Or Absolute. I remember this on the Tom Ford counter and thinking, I really like that. I need to buy that. And then one day it was gone. And it was properly gone. And I couldn't find it anywhere. And then the prices started going through the roof. And I was like, I ain't paying all that. I'm just not paying all that. Then I forgot about it. And someone got in touch with me and said, aha, Rich, behold, have you ever seen this? There is a what we call a pharmacy over here online that was selling 1 litre dram bottles of this. The big ones that they would refill the decanters on the Tom Ford counters with. And I was like, oh, I'm tempted by that. So what I did is I got in touch with someone else and I said, look at this. Look what this place is doing. And that person actually bought it instead. And they were like, oh, sorry, I can cancel it. I didn't know you wanted to buy it. I was like, no. This could work out very well for both of us. I'll take 100ml at cost, and you can sell the rest. And that's what they did. I think they sold the other 900, 800ml, and I took 100ml at cost. Got it at a very, very, very good price. And so this... This is an absolutely wonderful perfume. This is very Tom Ford. It harkens back to perfumes of your very masculine patchouli. Very rich, very dense, very patchouli, a bit of leather, some oak moss. It smells like something, it smells like the bathroom in your house when you were a kid after your dad had had a shave. Very dark, patchouli, leather, tonka bean, maybe some rosemary, so a little bit aromatic as well. Very woody, fresh, strong, masculine fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. What a wonderful perfume. And it's discontinued. It's discontinued. Tom Ford is one of those designer houses that will discontinue their best perfumes. They do it all the time because Joe Public thinks they're shit or doesn't buy them. And that includes me. I didn't buy it when it was out, and it got discontinued. What a prick. So buy your perfumes, buy your favourite perfumes when they appear, friends, because they will go. You know, God knows they will go. Okay, next up, something completely different, but this is Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver Eau de Parfum. I remember smelling this for the first time and finding it quite unapproachable, a little bit standoffish, a little bit austere, a little bit kind of aloof, but it's odd because it really does suit that bottle. It's sleek, it's very well made, it's very well put together, it's shimmering. It's like a shimmering vetiver fragrance. It's very dry. It's very clean. It feels like there's quite a bit of sage in here and quite a bit of iris as well to try and stop it from becoming hard. It's very dry, like a dry white wine. It's clear. There's a little bit, just a little bit of something like moss, oak moss, green in there. And then again, a massively, mightily masculine vetiver. It's a very manly fragrance. For Tom Ford had a thing for masculine perfumes, and as a designer house, when he was there, his perfumes, a lot of them put forward a lot, for fuck's sake, why do I hold them by the lid, for God's sake? A lot of his perfumes have got that aesthetic, the ultra masculine, manly kind of dad when you're a child thing, you know, like you feel as though you're learning about masculinity when you smell these perfumes. And that's what this smells like. This is very clean. It's a very different take on the same vibe as Patchouli Absolute. It's a very distinct aesthetic. And it kind of runs through the house, you know. Next up, something a bit different. Something that doesn't follow that vibe, or the ultra masculine vibe. So I'll just break up that sequence, because I've got another one or two here which actually do harken back to that, but not to worry. This is Noir de Noir, one of the originals. This, I think, like Patchouli Absolute, is one of the original Tom Ford private blends. No, it's not. Patchouli Absolute wasn't. That was released in 2014, sorry, but Noir de Noir was. Noir de Noir was part of the original lineup of the Tom Ford private blends. They came out in 2007. And they did kind of take the perfume world by storm. For me, I always remember walking into House of Fraser, and they were almost the first counter you would encounter. They were there, front and centre. Tom Ford, it was very exotic. Most of the time, when I was younger, I just walked past them because I didn't know who they were. And I was like, don't know who they are, don't know what this is. This was when I was much younger. And then I got older, discovered all these different perfumes and stuff like that. And Noir de Noir was a perfume that I always thought smelled really nice, but it felt very femme to me. It had a feminine angle. Everyone says this is the ultimate Valentine's Day fragrance because it's dark truffles and roses, chocolate and roses, basically. But if you wear this as a man, you will be praised. You will be praised by the women. They will love it on you. This is absolutely fantastic. The saffron and the rose, without going into oud territory, the saffron gives the rose this kind of bitterness, this freshness, this sharpness. And that does settle down, but instead of turning to this kind of what has now become a very well-worn old trope of rose oud saffron, this goes to patchouli and truffle and chocolate, and it sweetens it. And it, in that context, even though this was before a lot of those perfumes that did that, this is now like a surprise because, excuse me whilst I hydrate, this is now like a surprise because of so many other perfumes that turn into that oud direction. Dry amber woods usually in place of an actual oud. This is a little bit sweet underneath with that patchouli and truffle, and it's absolutely glorious. It's gorgeous to wear. I think this is perfect for the winter, actually, because of the darkness, because of the sweetness. It's fantastic. I haven't worn it very much since I got it. That said, I only got it last year, but I've been aware of it for a very long time. Next up, I will do this. This is a perfume you will know, and I'd be surprised if you didn't. This is Tom Ford Noir Extreme, or Noir Extreme. A lot of people call it Noir Extreme. That bottle design, very reminiscent of the original M7. I think this was one of the early releases as well. Noir was certainly one of the originals. This wasn't even close to being one of the originals. What the hell? They released Noir in 2012, and the Noir Extreme came out in 2015. Jesus. I've got these all wrong. This is famous for its kulfi note, which is an Indian dessert. It's very nice. I've tried it. But it has a lot of cardamom, nutmeg, a lot of nutmeg, vanilla, a lot of vanilla. So it's got that creamy, spicy thing going on. Again, Very masculine, actually. And the bottle reminds me of the original M7 bottle. Certainly its shape, but if you look at the lid and you look down the side, those ridges and the angles, that's a very masculine thing, and it's very 80s aesthetic. Early 80s, late 70s aesthetic, you know? Oh, it's so good as well. It's spicy, it's a little bit sweet, it's creamy, very masculine, very all-encompassing. It fits this Tom Ford aesthetic beautifully. It really does. It used to be the thing to have, the Tom Fords. I can't push that enough. I can't tell you that enough. I can't focus on that. These were wildly popular. These were Tom Ford was the Louis Vuitton, what Louis Vuitton has become, you know? If you go back and watch fragrance videos from 10 years ago, everyone was hyping the fuck out of Tom Ford. And they were well worth it back then, 10 years ago, you know? And this is just so likeable. Often think to myself, I should get a reference vanilla. This could be considered a reference vanilla. That nutmeg, kulfi, vanilla, amber sort of thing that you get in this is absolutely undefeated. This is like a date night perfume, one of the ultimate date night perfumes. I am not sure how this has held up over the years. Hopefully it still smells great, because it smells absolutely astonishing there. I'm not misty-eyed, but I'm getting all like remembering when these came out. Obviously smells are really good for memories, and when these came out, I was very much all in on Tom Ford. There were only a few of them that I didn't really like, or that I thought weren't worth the money. Now I think most of them aren't worth the money. Especially, I mean, those cherry fragrances are shit. Jesus Christ. But not to worry. We'll move on to another discontinued Tom Ford. Again, another one of the best ones. I do have a backup of this, so please don't worry about us. But this is Tom Ford Noir Anthracite, a flanker of Noir, the second one. I don't actually have the original. The original's very good. But this is Anthracite. This is hyper woody. It's like charcoal. It's like everything dark and dry. Doesn't go into amberwood territory for me, but at the same time, it has amberwood vibes without becoming so bland and so, how can I put it, so bland and so regular and boring and monotonous as amberwoods are. There's a lot of pepper at the top, but it's not make you sneeze pepper. It's dry. It's not dusty, but it's dry. It's got that ginger fizz going on. It's so odd. Pepper and ginger. So you get this almost astringent kind of thing from it. It's very clean, you know? Like, you can get carbon filters which will scrub the air in any environment because the carbon, like, you filter it through like charcoal essentially, and it captures all of these scent molecules, all of these like particles in the air, like dust and things like that. They're unbelievable. They're used in industrial uses. And this has got that kind of clean charcoal thing going on. If that sounds interesting to you, you should try it. There's a lot of birch in here, very dark woods, dry spices, no moisture, no signs of life, like petrified wood. Like anthracite's the perfect name for it. That's the perfect colour for the bottle. Anthracite's a very particular kind of charcoal as well. So the name absolutely nailed it for what it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And it's gone. It is very sadly gone. And it's quite masculine. I don't know how I would feel about that being on a woman. There's no reason why you can't wear it. Anybody can wear whatever you want to wear. But it would be it's unapproachable, you know? It's unapproachable. It's a strange fragrance. Next up, we have one of the originals again. One of the original perfumes from the Private Blend collection. And this is a very famous perfume. And this is Tuscan Leather. I still remember the first time I smelled this. I'd smelled leather perfumes before, but I had never smelled anything remotely like this. This is so odd. The juxtaposition of raspberry and this hyper-modern leather that came out in 2007. It was far ahead of its time. It was a sensation. This and Tobacco Vanille, which ended up becoming a bigger fragrance and a bigger seller, I think. But they do still sell both. Neither have been discontinued. They are seminal Tom Ford perfumes. Saffron, again, raspberry, incense, but leather. Brand new car leather, you know? Leather essence. That kind of brilliant black new car leather, expensive new car, Lamborghini leather, Ferrari leather, you know? You can almost hear the leather creaking when you sit on it. It's that kind of leather. And this is an older bottle. It's got a gold batch code on it. Very ashy. You get a lot of ash from this. It's so strange, and yet it's juxtaposed against that raspberry. Raspberry? It's so familiar now, and it's like a trope, and every house has got a clone of it. This inspired 1,000 clones. It's been reformulated, and it's been utterly devastated, actually. It really has been wounded. But in its day, it was one of the best in an extremely competitive field. It was one of the best leathers ever made. In a hyper competitive field, it is one of the best leathers ever made. Brilliant construction, brilliant idea, incredible wear and experience, incredible execution, incredible performance. That's something else about these old Tom Fords. The Tom Fords would just wear all day easily. You'd spend a lot of money, you'd get a good quality product, and you'd be able to smell it all day. You know? A lot of houses just can't manage those basic things anymore. And it's sad. But this has had its balls chopped off. It's been castrated. It really has. I know a lot of that gets flung around the world and about lots of different perfumes. This is now a travesty. There is a perfume called La Yucawam. I can't remember what the other is. La Yucawam something. But my friend's got it, and that now smells more like Tuscan leather than the modern Tuscan leather smells. So, I think it's by Rasassi, isn't it? La Yucawam Hom. But yeah, it smells more like Tom Ford's Tuscan leather than Tuscan leather does, but I don't do clones. I just won't. I used to have ombre leather. Ombre leather was one of those private blends. That's something else that fucking did Tom Ford in for me. He used to release these private blends that were like quote unquote limited, and then they'd get discontinued and brought back as signature perfumes. But they would be inferior blends, you know, and they just would be. They just would be. And that happened with ombre leather. The ombre leather 16 was amazing, and then ombre leather in the round signature bottle was not as good at all. Filled with amber woods for performance and for the bros, but it was a softer leather than Tuscan leather. It was quite similar. It was almost a flanker. They might as well have said Tuscan leather EDT or Tuscan leather cologne. But strange situation. Okay. Next up, I will show you my first decanter. Now, I've got two of these. This is the first one. This is Vert d'Anson in 2017, I want to say. Tom Ford released a line of green perfumes, and these green perfumes included Vert de Bois, Vert Bohème, Vert de Fleur, and this one, Vert d'Anson. This was actually 2016, I see. They didn't do 100 mils, I don't think. They might have done, but I don't think they did. I think it's a take on... I think it is a take on... What's it a take on? Fila Nagil. It's so oily when you put it on skin. It's a lot more piney, which is an odd thing to say. It's much less woody than Fila Nagil. I should do a comparison video, actually. That would be quite interesting. It's a little bit sweeter. It's got a lot of incense in, a lot of like olibanum. There's fir balsam in here, a lot of resin as well. So you can imagine a fire in a pine forest and the sap bubbling inside the tree, and maybe it's like spilling out and running down the bark. It's coniferous. It's dark. It's sweet. It's green. It's an absolutely incredible perfume. It's so clever and so different than what else is being done then, now, and before, that it's hard to explain why stuff like this never caught on. It was high quality and no one was interested. This is the problem when you are at the behest of market forces. People just do nothing. People don't have good taste, you know? But that's life. That is life. Okay, my second decanter is this. And this is Beau de Jour. This is Beau de Jour. This is another one of the Tom Ford private blend expeditions where they went out and put this in a private blend. Everyone was like, my God, that's amazing. And then they discontinued the fucker and brought it back out in the signature. This is infinitely superior to the signature version. I'm sorry, but it is. People saying that there's no difference or the differences are negligible are fucking talking bollocks. And I will fight anyone who says that. And I'm sorry, but the differences are not negligible. They're massive. Huge. So I remember smelling this and thinking, wow, that's awesome. I'll buy it later, you know. And then it got discontinued and the signature came out. And I smelled the signature. I was like, oh no, that's terrible. What the fuck? I knew there was something wrong. This was when the amberwood thing, when they started filling like perfumes with amberwoods and taking out more expensive things, such as the patchouli in this case. And I remember saying to the woman, I was like, oh my God, I was like, you know, if you had any of the old version, I was like, I would have bought it, but I'm not buying that. And she was like, oh, she was like, in this drawer here, we've got like a decanter, and since it's discontinued and they're now selling the signature one, we've got to sell it mil for mil, the same price as the signature version. Now the signature version was about it was 2/3 the price of the signature version was 2/3 the price. So I got 30% off. They said, we'll have to sell it mil for mil, the same price. Do you want it? I was like, absolutely. Wait, put a note on it. Don't sell it. I'm coming back for it. If you sell it when I'm away, I'll play the fucking band. I'll make a scene. I'll give you a deposit. She said, I can't take a deposit. I know who you are. And I came back an hour later and I bought it. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm so glad I did. And I didn't wait to get 100 mil. I didn't get a 50 mil. I went and got the 250 decanter, and I got one of the special Tom Ford travel sprays. Wonderful. This is one of his best creations, and I think this is one that's really close to his heart, because this is the epitome of those old masculine Italian fougères done with modern flair. It's almost the perfect fougère, to the point of caricature. It's got the best lavender, it's got the best rosemary, it's got the best patchouli, it's got incredible performance. It smells fresh, aromatic. It's mossy. It's got mint. It's got mint in it. No one ever mentions the mint. The main difference between this version and the signature version is an aspect of the lavender which is hyper soapy, and the patchouli. They removed the patchouli from the private blend version and they replaced it with amber woods, or they certainly decreased the amount and increased or included amber woods in the signature version, and that's how they got the price down. Because this smells infinitely better. This smells infinitely better than the fucking signature version, which is a pale imitation. And I do not understand how people can say with a straight face that there is a negligible difference at best. Some people say there's no difference. There is. Massive difference. You don't know how businesses work if you think there's no difference, that they sell the same product with the same name at a cheaper price. Fuck off. Fuck off. But this is one of those perfumes that highlights that problem Tom Ford's had. And there was a guy who was at the counter, and I was talking to him at the Tom Ford counter especially, and he was complaining to the sales associate, which I don't like, because I mean, what the hell is she supposed to do? But he was complaining at the sales associate, why does Tom Ford discontinue these perfumes, or why does he make these perfumes and say that they're limited editions and then bring them back out as a cheaper version? What my argument would be to him is, these versions are infinitely better quality, better materials, better execution. And I wish I could talk to that guy again. Years later, nearly 10 years later, actually. This came out in 2020. What year did you come out? Was it 2017? No, I think it was actually, I'll tell you what it was. It was a different perfume. I'm getting mixed up. I do remember talking to a guy about how Tom Ford did this, and he was fuming. And I agreed with him. Shouldn't do that, but I've got the best version, you know? I've used quite a bit of that, actually. Shit. No backup needed, though. No backup needed. Next up is one of my favourite perfumes in general. I'm sure you've been expecting this one to come. This is Tobacco Oud. I just love this. They've discontinued this now. The fuckers. The absolute bastards. First, they got rid of the 100 mils. Why? Well, obviously it wasn't selling well enough. And now they've just got rid of it in general. It smells thick and rich and a little bit boozy and sweet, and it's got tobacco in it, and it's got incense, it's got benzoin, and there's patchouli. I've reviewed this, so go and watch it. It is one of my most worn perfumes, and I have finished, this will be the second bottle I've finished of it, and I have many backups, and thank God. I will always wear this, and I will always spray lots of it on, and I wear this all the way through autumn and winter. And it reminds me, it keeps me going through those times. And it's a fucking tragedy that they always get rid of these fragrances. And they have to change them as well because of the fucking regulations that come in. You know, banning this chemical or advising against using this chemical. And it's very upsetting and sad. Last but not least is, I think this was Brooklyn Fragrance Lover's favourite perfume. This is Amber Absolute. This goes for fucking stupid money on eBay because, again, Tom Ford discontinued it. I have described this as Tobacco Oud without the tobacco or the oud. And that's kind of what it smells like to me. It has that structure, that scaffold that goes around Tobacco Oud. Excuse me. But doesn't have that syrupy, slightly boozy quality to it. It is very ambery. There's a lot of vanilla. There's incense in here, lots of incense, including olibanum. It's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit dry. I really like this, but I wear it sparingly, especially because the cost of replacing this shit is fucking wild. Again, it's one of the originals, along with Noir de Noir? Along with Tuscan Leather and Noir de Noir from the Private Blend collection. And it was discontinued. It was one of the first ones to be discontinued, I think, as well. Among people who are into these kinds of fragrances, or people who were around and enjoying perfume at the time, this is very famous. Christophe Laudermiel put the formula for the perfume out into the public domain when Brooklyn Fragrance Lover died, which was very nice of him to do, very sweet. Carlos was he wasn't perfect, nobody's perfect, but he loved his perfume. And he really did love perfume. And it was a terrible thing when he passed. And we all lost out. And this was his favourite perfume, I believe. You know? And I do think of him when I wear this. And it reminds me of the Fragcom that... I don't want to be too fucking, dramatic. But it reminds us of the Fragcom we've lost. And that's one of the tragedies of perfumes and smells in general. They bring back memories really strongly, and that's what this perfume does. I did want to end on this one. The community is becoming more commercialized and harder to empathize and that sort of thing, but we still have each other. I hope you have enjoyed this video, friends. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again.